John A. Macdonald practiced law for many years and served as Attorney General in Canada West and after Confederation as Minister of Justice in Ottawa. To honor his contribution to women's rights and to the development of the legal profession in Ontario, I am pleased to introduce Ms. Janet Miner, Treasurer of the Law Society of Upper Canada.
Down a bit. Okay. Thank you. I am very pleased to be here in Mississauga traditional territory and in these lands which have been shared with the Mohawks since 1615. The Law Society of Upper Canada was incorporated in 1797 to regulate the province's legal profession in the public interest. We set the standards for entry and enforce the rules of professional conduct. We are still actively engaged in those functions, and our membership has grown from 15 lawyers in 1797 to more than 48,000 lawyers and 6,000 paralegals today. John A. Macdonald came to the attention of the Law Society early. In 1830, he was one of 3 young men admitted as students at law following their successful completion of examinations. He was 15 years old. He learned quickly, and he argued his first case before a jury here in Picton, a case he won despite the fact that he was still a student. In 1835, the Law Society granted him a license to practice as an attorney and a solicitor, and then a year later he passed the barrister's examination and was called to the bar as a barrister of law. At that time, he was just 21 years old. It was the beginning of a long and successful legal career. It is notable that he found many ways to give back to the legal profession, despite the many other demands on his time. He was an elected bencher or governing director of the Law Society of Upper Canada for 22 years. In addition, he understood from his own experience the huge value of being a mentor to guide young students. And he took on young students himself. One of those was Oliver Mowat, who of course subsequently became one of the fathers of Confederation and Premier of Ontario. And as Justice Sharp has said, while not all of his views were perhaps progressive, he does very much deserve recognition for his support of women. He proposed extending the vote to women in the 1880s, a time when no country had female suffrage. Although he was never able to bring the motion to a vote in Parliament, as biographer Richard Gwynne notes, Macdonald became the first national leader in the world to attempt to grant women the vote. Even after his death, his commitment to equality for women continued to manifest itself. Not only were women not allowed to vote, they were also barred from becoming lawyers. When Clara Brett Martin challenged the Law Society in 1891 by asking to be admitted, she was refused. In 1892, the government amended the Law Society's legislation to admit women, and our Law Society became the first common law jurisdiction in the world to admit women. The government that passed that legislation was led by Premier Oliver Mowat, the former student at law mentored by Sir John A. Macdonald. Let me finish by telling you that women now occupy a much more prominent place in the legal profession. Since 2000, more than half of the new lawyers called to the bar each year have been women. I am convinced that Sir John A. Macdonald would not only not be surprised, he would be fully happy and approve. Thank you.